Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kahalo Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the man in whom I learned this truth from. Start with the beginning at the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. And I give sincere salutations to all the Akim presenting their bodies, living sacrifices, and making sure that this word is preached throughout the four corners of the earth. Alright, I just want to say, I'm not a part of any Great Millstone camps, but the Spirit told me to do these videos and push His word, so just want to disclaimer, again, I'm not a part of any GMS camps, so, just want to put that out there, because you got a lot of sheep and wolves clothing out here, alright, but nevertheless, this lesson is inspired by a conversation that I had with an individual that's very dear to me. All right, she's basically family. And we were talking. We often talk about the Bible and stuff like that, And one of the things that she was telling me about another conversation that she had with another individual. I believe it was a Pentecostal or some other religion. Basically going into, because one thing about these individuals in the world, these people, they're settled in this kingdom. They're comfortable with being wicked. They love to sin. And for the most part, a lot of people know in their spirit that what they're doing is wrong, and this is why they don't want to see the second coming of Yahweh Shai, who the word ignorant really calls Jesus. Because again, when Yahweh Shai comes back and shows up, he's pretty much putting a stop to all that, all this wickedness. In the kingdom, it's not going to be no more sin. All right, there's not going to be no more LGBT, QPSR, whatever. It's not going to be none of that. And again, for the most part, people, they don't want to see that happen. So this is why they love this kingdom. They just like the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. They do what they can to prolong their stay in this kingdom. All right, but nevertheless, I had this conversation that I had with this individual. She was telling me how the conversation that she had with another individual is supposed to be believer, in the church, but we know how that goes. They be the worst ones. But she was going into how something about the Our Father's prayer came up, and this individual told her basically to stay away from that prayer, because that's one of the Our Father's prayer. That's for the most part. A lot of people, they don't know how to pray. They don't know what to pray for. Well, if you're in that mindset, you don't really know what to pray for. You don't know what to ask for and things like that. Just say the Our Father's prayer. Yahweh Shai, He left us that prayer. It pretty much covers everything. And what's included in that prayer is the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Shai being established on this earth. Which again, a lot of people, they don't want that, because this earth, what's going on right now, this kingdom is nothing but wickedness. All right, and the people, they love wickedness. They love to go off into sin. So this is why, I was telling her, this is why, it's no surprise, and, she couldn't really understand, why someone would, tell her to, basically to stay away from the Our Father's prayer. Like I said, I had to kind of, explain and expound to her, this is why, people, they just love wickedness. They love to sin. They love doing that which is contrary to Yahweh Shem Shai. And the scriptures talk about, Yahweh says, I get it later on, but it talks about, this is not our rest. This place of America, this is not our rest. This is not it. Despite whatever you may gain in this place, in this kingdom, whether it be a good paying job or a brand new vehicle or whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, we want to get out of here because we know or I'm not gonna say we know, but we understand that there's things far beyond our comprehension that is waiting for us after all this. So, but again, because of lack of faith, people they don't see it that way. This is it for people, man. This is to the majority of the people on the earth, this is heaven. It doesn't get no better than this. And like I said, I have to expound and let her know of these things. This is why people are they're stuck in this mindset and being here forever and whatnot. So again, without rambling too much, that's what inspired me to do this lesson, dealing with the peace and the tranquility that's soon to come, the kingdom that is soon to come, the kingdom come, right? So that's what I want to touch on a little bit in this kingdom. One of my favorite things, my favorite scriptures, which I'm gonna start out with in the Revelations, the 21st chapter. I'll start at verse 1. It says, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband." And if you, have the understanding, that that Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Because a lot of people will read that, but they think it's actually talking about an actual city, when it's actually talking about basically, because when all hell breaks loose out here, and basically at the end of this thing, Yahushua shows up, and those to be delivered, beginning with the elect, all right, and you're gonna have the it starts off with the elect, and then it's gonna have the 1/3, because it's prophesied in the Bible. 2/3 aren't gonna make it. You're gonna have the 1/3, all right, and within that 1/3 is the elect, right, which is the functioning, it's the pillar, the governing body, all right, the government, a real government, all right. It starts with the elect under Yahushua, of course, and then you're gonna have the 1/3, the men helpers of the prophets, the women and children, all right. This is well, for the most part, this is excuse me, because I said when Yahushua shows up, it's gonna be you're gonna have the elect get beamed up into those chariots, right? And in that process, somewhere along the way, while being in those chariots, you're gonna have, when you read about in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, being changed in the twinkling of an eye. The new covenant's going to be established. All right, we're going to have all the law, statutes, and commandments. We're going to be perfect. We're going to be all righteous. All right, and this is what John the Revelator saw. All right, this was that city. This is the cities that it's talking about. Because, like I said, it's not talking about an actual, place. Gated community. It's talking about, basically. This is what it's talking about. All right. The functioning government, the rulership, because Yahushua, like I said, he shows up, he's taking this kingdom out of power, and it's out with the old and with the new. All right. So this is what it's going into. All right. The rulership structure. This is going to be the governing body of the universe, again under the rulership of Yahushua. All right. Reading in verse 3, it says, "And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. And the Most High himself shall be with them and be their power. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, and the former things are passed away. And like I said, that's one of my favorite that's one of my my favorite scriptures, because in this life, that's all we know is misery, all we know is pain and suffering, and that's all we know is sorrow. But of course, knowing and understand, being under these curses, these things have to happen. But like I said, when Yahushua shows up, all that's going to be taken away. All the curses, they're going to be done away with for us. All right. And this is what we look forward to. All right. So this is why I said, whenever you hear someone, this is included in like I said, when it talks about the thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. This is what it's including. All right. But again, because here it is, you're gonna have a kingdom where there's no more pain, there's no more suffering, death is gonna be conquered. All right. But and again, you might find it hard for certain individuals to want these things, because again, being in this captivity for so long, you develop that Stockholm syndrome, where you develop that that connection with the oppressor, and like I say, for the most part, this is all people know. This is all we know is pain, suffering. This is all we know. So for the most part, like I said, people, they get comfortable in this, and our people, they're not they're comfortable with being comfortable, complacent. They don't want to take the time out to explore new things and things like that. So this is why they want to, they have it in their minds, they want to stay here. They don't want to, depart out of the, out of all this garbage, this poison, this kingdom, reading verse 5, it says, and he that sat upon the horse, he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. So again, Yahushua shows up, he's coming to redo everything. Everything's going to be refreshed. Everything's going to be renewed. All right. The kingdom is going to be established. Righteousness is going to be established. All right. And again, because we're living in a society where wickedness is highly exalted. In order to make it in this society, you have to be wicked. In order to be anything or have, to gain anything, riches and all this other stuff, you have to be wicked. You have to be contrary to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, which again, and a lot of people, they're comfortable in this place. They don't want to give up their riches. They just want to be here forever. Pretty much, people think they think in, short term, and they can't think outside the box. Because like I say, only those of faith believe these things to be true. Only those of faith will, understand that there's much more to it than this. Because like I said, this is nothing, man. All these things, they're perishable. All right. I mean, it's nothing. These things are corruptible, versus what we're going to get in the kingdom is incorruptible. So let me jump down to verse 27. Verse 27, it says, and there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. So you see, again, because in the kingdom, there's not going to be, you're not going to have this, all what you see going on today and what you see, like, when you come into this truth, a lot of people, they try to come into this truth, with this whole westernized, philosophy, and it doesn't work like that. And a lot of people, they think they're gonna, come into the kingdom still being defiled and still, with the westernized type mindset. That's not the case. That's far from the case. All right, because one of the things, one of the poisons that they teach here in this westernized culture, this westernized society, is that one man and one woman. All right, You know, polygamy is something that's looked down upon in this society. When, you know, that's actually a righteous, you know, that's a beautiful thing in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Shai. But again, that's something that's looked down upon in this society. But you see verses in the kingdom, you know, a man and only men, all right, men are gonna have multiple women, concubines, all right. But again, you know, you got a lot of people, you know, they thinking that they can, might think that they can come into the kingdom, you know, with, there's not gonna be no such thing as feminism in the kingdom, all right. No equality in the kingdom, you know, as far as, you know, men and women, all right. In the kingdom, women are gonna, you know, they're gonna revert back to their natural state, which is being submissive, being a possession, you know, being a helpmeet to their husband, to their man, all right. So you're not gonna have no women in the kingdom, you know, one bedroom, you know, palaces or apartments. No, it's not going down like that. All that's gonna be done away with. You see, this is what we look forward to. You know, this is why a lot of people, you know, they don't want to, you know, this is why, you know, for the most part, a lot of people they love it here. You know, because again, you know, Yahushua, he's coming to, you know, make things right. You know, it's going to be righteousness, a righteous order established on the earth and throughout the whole galaxy, the whole universe, right? You know, but again, you know, a lot of people, they don't want to let that go, you know. I'll go to 2nd Esdras real quick. 8 and 52. 2nd Esdras 8 and 52. Second Esdras 8 and 52. The point is in 54, but I read 52. It says, "For unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteousness. A plentiness is made ready. A city is builded and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom." So you see, this is what's being prepared for us. The kingdom, rest. All right. Paradise. You know, the time is coming where we're not going to have to set our alarms for, you know, 5 a.m., you know, to get ready to head out for work. You know, because in the kingdom, we're not going to have to work a day in our life. You know, just like in the Garden of Eden, you know, we weren't working. We weren't, you know, I'm talking about before Adam sinned, you know, we weren't working. We weren't, you know, getting up, getting ready to go for work and, you know, doing all the, you know, everything that we're doing now, you know, working, you know, you know, the sweat of thy brow, as the scriptures say, you know, working 2 or 3 jobs, barely making the ends meet. We weren't doing that stuff in paradise, in the Garden of Eden. We weren't doing none of that stuff. And the time is coming now where, you know, it's going back to that, all right? Because during that time, you know, the paradise, you know, during the time of Adam and Eve, you know, well, what took place then, you know, I mean, that was a small inkling of what's to come, all right? That was just, you know, because, you know, when you study and look into the, you know, the Garden of Eden, man, I mean, they had it made, man. They were living it up, you know. But again, that's nothing compared to what's about to take place, what's about to come, the rest, the peace that we're gonna get. All right. And again, you know, for some odd, sick reason, you know, people, they, like I said, you might get a good job, like me. I use myself as an example. I just got me a little pay raise, you know, a good little decent pay raise at my job, you know. But nevertheless, I'm not gonna, you know, throw my chances of salvation just because of that, you know, because nevertheless, you know, I mean, you still gotta pay taxes, you know, and do all these other things, you know, federal taxes, Social Security, and all this, you know, all this other stuff, you know. But nevertheless, the point being, I'm not supposed to work in the first place. You know, I shouldn't have to work, you know, get up and go to work and, you know, kill myself and enslave myself. You shouldn't have to do that, you know. It was never designed for us to be like that in the first place. You know, but like I said, you know, well, for whatever reason, you know, people, they might get a new job, the career job, the job that they always wanted, and, you know, that's it for them. You know, that's their blessing. You know, that's everything to them. You know, But like I said, there's something so much better, so much greater, so much more greater things to come than a good paying job, And again, people they just this is all they know, man, and this is why they're stuck on stupid, man, stuck on simplicity, you know. Jump down to verse 54. It says, "Sorrows are past, and in the end, it showed the treasure of immortality." So you see, because again, the time is coming. We're gonna be immortal. We're gonna have bodies that don't get sick, bodies that don't deteriorate. You're not gonna see a Jake in the kingdom with wearing glasses or autism or none of that. And all these things they're gonna be done away with in the kingdom. So it baffles me, when someone says something like, staying away from the Our Father's prayer, because like I said, that includes the kingdom being established on this earth as it is in heaven, which means doing away with wickedness, which again, a lot of you Jakes, and 2/3 Jakes, you love wickedness, so you don't want to see, righteousness be established, but again, for those that believe, and truly, want to get out of here, don't want to be here anymore. Sorrows, the time is coming that sorrows are going to be done away with. All right, you're not going to hear about a Jake. You're not going to see the face of a Jake on on T-shirts that say, rest in peace. That's not going to be taking place in the kingdom. All right, you're not going to see Jakes killing each other over Jordans, because one Jake stepped on another Jake's kicks. Now they're fighting and shooting each other. None of that stuff. None of these things are going to be taken away in the kingdom. None of these things are going to be taking place in the kingdom. All that's going to be done away with. Sorrows. All right, you're not going to be hearing about miscarriages or none of that. In the kingdom it's going to be nothing but peace and love and righteousness, joy and gladness, mirth. This is things that we can right now. All we can do is imagine it. There was an account with Paul, but I'm thinking about, but probably get that later. Yahweh. But from there, man, these sorrows, man, this is gonna be done away with. Waking up with back pains and knee problems, that stuff is gonna be done with. You're gonna have bodies that don't get old, bodies that don't get tired. I told this to this individual that I was talking to. I told her, you might want to get in, brothers might want to get into a push-up contest in the kingdom. They're gonna be doing push-ups for the rest of their everlasting life, because again, the bodies that we're gonna get, they're not gonna get tired. Like myself, again, use myself as an example. I go to the gym and I play ball. I do things to stay fit and stay relevant, stay healthy and active. We're not gonna have to be doing that stuff in the kingdom. Because we're not gonna have bodies that deteriorate, bodies that we have to constantly keep up with. All right, a lot of women, they over time, they get all down and depressed because they're not as, they think that they're not as beautiful as they once were. Well, I tell the few women that I do talk to, I'll let them know, like, in the kingdom, what you thought you had now, when you were in your prime, your prime beauty. Listen, you're gonna get that back in the kingdom and then more. All right, because that's another thing. Our women, they're gonna be fine and luxurious and boutique. All right, men are gonna be strong and muscular and vascular, and just things we can only put into words for right now. Because again, we can only imagine these things. All right. But what was I going? Psalms 46. Psalms 46 and verse I'll just start at verse 1. It says, "The Most High is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters whereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof, Selah. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of the Most High, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. The Most High is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. The Most High shall help her in that right early. I don't think that's what I wanted, but nevertheless, Spirit brought it out because, yeah, the Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yoshai is going to be, dealing in the midst. Pretty much the Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yoshai is going to be in the midst of everything. Because like I said, going back to the Garden of Eden, when the earth was, it was healthier. The air was, it was fresh, it was clean. You could drink the water, right? You wanted fruits, you can just, because like today, if you want to get some fruit other than, outside going to the store, you got to plant the fruit and, harvest and reap and do all these other things, but in the kingdom, if we wanted the fruit, it would just, just come out of the ground. And, you want an apple, just come out of the ground. And, you can eat a fresh apple, non-GMO, and again, that's just, showing, how the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai is going to work in the kingdom. All right. Because again, that spirit was retracted, and again, now we got to work, the sweat of thy brow, as I quoted earlier. We got to physically plant things and put things into intuition, versus in the kingdom, like I said, we're not gonna have to work a day in our life. If you want something, hey, it's gonna be there, and you're gonna be able to get it at your leisure. All right. Let me go to Isaiah. Like I said, that's not. I didn't want that precept, but nevertheless, it came out. Spirit wanted it to come out. In Isaiah 54, it talks about the matter of fact, let me go back to Psalms 126, because this is another precept that I meditate on a lot. Because like I said, dealing with that scripture the first precept that I pulled within in Revelations, the 21st chapter, that's one of my favorite precepts, and this coincides with it for me, in Psalms 126, starting in verse 1, it says, "When Yahweh turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dreamed." So you see, because basically we're in one big nightmare, man. This is all one big horrible nightmare that we're in. And when Yahweh Shai, when the Heavenly Father Yahweh sends His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai to deliver us and establishes us back in the kingdom, right? This is all going to seem like one big nightmare, man. We're going to wake up from this horrible dream that we're in. That's what people don't understand, man. This is not it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the point. This is not our rest. There's so much more to look forward to after this place. This is not our rest. This is just a nightmare. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read that whole chapter because the whole chapter is pretty banging. Verse 2, it says, "Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, Yahweh have done great things for them." So you see that? Because that's another thing. Because there's a scripture that talks about how when the righteous are in authority, pretty much, everyone's at peace, everyone's at ease. But when the wicked are in authority, everyone's at everyone's in chaos. Everyone's in tumult. The people mourn when the wicked are in authority. When the wicked rule, the people mourn. You know, but in the kingdom, even the right, in the kingdom, even these heathens, which they're going to be subject unto us, the Israelites, even the heathens, the other nations in the kingdom, even being our slaves, they're going to be at peace. They're going to be chill. You know, they're going to be, testifying, and professing the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and showing reverence to, the nation of Israel. Even the heathens in the kingdom, they're going to be, they're going to recognize, even the heathens. Because like I said, what you got going on today, because like I said, who's ruling the earth today? The so-called white man, Esau, Edom, right? And like I said, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. And what you see going on today, if you're paying attention to current events, or current events, the people are becoming restless. They're becoming tired. A lot of these countries are they're telling the white man to get the hell out of their countries, remove their embassies. A lot of nations, they don't want nothing to do with America. They don't want nothing to do with the dollar anymore. Because again, the people are restless. The people are tired. But like I said, even in the kingdom, when true righteousness is established, even the kingdom, man, they're going to be chill. They're going to be chilling for the most part, because they're going to have to endure, some hardcore slavery after a time. But after that time, again, they're going to be chilling, for the most part, because, well, that's another topic, dealing with the heathens. And that's another thing that's hard for people to fathom, having slaves in the kingdom, because like I said, we're not gonna have to work a day in our lives, man. What do you think these heathens are for? What do you think these slaves are for? Sorry, reading on, it says, Yahweh have done great things for them. Yahweh have done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, O Yahweh, as the streams in the south. So this is what we're crying out to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Deliver us from this captivity, this hell, this nightmare, this bad dream that we're in. Bring us back into our homeland. Bring us back to our peace, our rest. Oh, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Baba Gashal. Destroy this place. We hate it here. But again, only a small remnant, a small few are, they're in that mindset. Because again, the rest of the world, man, they love it here. Even though the mirth is gone, Esau's, coming up with all these draconian laws and draconian measures. The people still love it here. Esau's tightening the screws on the society. He's making, your everyday life more hell than what he's been doing for the past hundreds of years. And people still love it here. The people they still think this is it. Reading on verse 5, it says, they that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth in weeping, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with joy, with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. So you see, because for the most part, like what you see going on today with these protests and these uproars of the people, especially with Jake, for the most part, Jake, they be crying out, because they want to be treated fairly. They want peace and justice and all these other things, but they're not crying out to you, how about Shem Yahushai? They're going to the ones that are causing all the oppression. So for the most part, the people are weeping in the morning, but again, they're not crying out to you, how about Shem Yahushai? The true worshipers, the true saints, the elect, they're crying out to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. They're weeping. All right. And again, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the prayers that are being sent up daily, they're not going unheard. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, he hears the prayers of his saints, and he's soon going to act on it. Well, he's already acting on it, but soon is going to be, a complete, it's everything's going to be completely flipped. All right. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is soon going to flip the script, and all the injustices and all the atrocities that we have, we've dealt with, the Lord is gonna, he's gonna turn it back. This is why we're crying out for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to destroy this place. Bring this kingdom down, establish righteousness. That kingdom, you know, where it talks about in the Our Father's prayer, you know, the kingdom being established on earth as it is in heaven. You know, this is what we want. This is what we look forward to. But again, you know, people they don't see it that way, and they love it here. You know, so go to Ezekiel, because one of the things that I was talking to this sister about, you know, because in the kingdom, you know, it's gonna be nothing but peace and tranquility. You know, you're not gonna have you be able to send your child out to your children to, you know, different planets and, you know, galaxies and stuff like that, and you're not gonna have to worry about it. Nothing. You're not gonna worry about anything. You know, versus today, you know, you can't send your child out. You can't send your child outside to check the mail. You know, I mean, I remember there was a point in time. I'm a '90s baby, so I grew up in, you know, at a time where, you know, you play outside and, you know, do all these other things and whatnot. But you can't do that today. You know, these kids, these children, you see, the children that were made to, you know, interact with the earth. You know, but they, you know, they can't even do that today. You know, because like I said, you know, you can't take them outside. The parks are closed. You know, I gotta wear face masks everywhere they go. Locked up in the house 24/7. You know. But you see, in the kingdom, you know, like I said, you know, you can send them out, send them off to Jupiter, you know, for all you, you know, for all you care. Send them out to Pluto and send them out to explore these different planets and galaxies and stuff like that. You know, you're not gonna have to worry about them. You're not gonna have to call up and check up on them. You're not have to keep an eye up on keep an eye on them or anything. You're not gonna have to worry about, you know, your child being kidnapped or, you know, sold into sex trafficking. You're not gonna worry about any of that stuff in the kingdom. You know. But let me get this in Ezekiel, the 34th chapter. Let me start at verse 25. It says, "And I will make them a covenant of peace, and will cause the evil beasts to cease out of the land, and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness and sleep in the woods." So you see, you know, because again, you know, in the kingdom, you're not gonna have to worry about, you know. A matter of fact, let me get that real quick. Where's that at? It talks about the let me look for this real quick. I think it's Isaiah 24. I think. No. Oh man. Where's that at? It talks about, you know, basically, you know, your seed, you know, they're gonna be able to play with poisonous snakes and, you know, all the, you know, creations of Yahweh Shem Shai. You're not gonna have to worry about them getting bit. You know, you're not gonna have to worry about them getting mauled by lions and none of that stuff. Let's see if I can find this real quick. Oh man, where's that at? Let me try it. Ezekiel. Might be Ezekiel. Damn. Isaiah 11:6. Yeah, the water Yahweh Shem Shai is hot. It's Isaiah 11:6. This is part of that new covenant that's going to be established in the kingdom. Matter of fact, I think I want to start at verse. I mean, the whole chapter, Isaiah 11, is pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna start at verse 1. I might jump down. Isaiah 11:1, it says, "And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse," that's talking about Yahushai, "and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, and the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yahweh." Yeah, this whole chapter is good, but let me stick to the point. I'm gonna jump down to verse 6. It says, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb. And that's talking about like an actual wolf and an actual lamb, you know, because, you know, a lot of these you know, common enemies like cats and dogs, you know, lions and zebras, you know, they attack each other now and eat, you know, slaughter and eat each other now. But in the kingdom, you know, it's all gonna be at peace. They're all gonna be eaten. Or when you read on down, it says, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. So you see that? You're gonna have your own your offspring leading packs of lions and vicious bears and, you know, poisonous snakes. All right, and they're not gonna be bit. They're not gonna be touched. All right, because again, you know, the spirit of Yahweh Shemir Shah is gonna be, you know, basically it's gonna be on the earth. The righteousness is gonna be established on the earth. All right, like I said, this goes into the new covenant that's gonna be, you know, established. All right, this is a part of that. It says, verse 7, it says, and the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. Because, you know, in the kingdom, I forgot what they call it, but these meat-eating, you know, animals, you know, flesh-eating animals, you know, they're all going. It's all going back to a vegetarian state. They're all going to be eating the herbs of the earth. All right, you know, and that goes for us too. You know, we're not going to be having to slaughter animals, slaughter these, you know, different lambs or, you know, chicken or whatnot, because, you know, for the most part, we're going to go back to that vegetarian state. You know, so even the animals, they're going to be at peace. The whole earth is going to be at peace. Everything's going to be at rest. All right. It says, verse 8, and the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahweh as the waters cover the sea. So you see, because that spirit is going to be covered, you know, it's going to be covering the whole earth, the whole galaxy. All right, so you're going to have, you know, your newborn babes. They're going to be able to, you know, like I said, you know, play with these poisonous, these serpents, you know, these what are they called? These scorpions and you know, all these, you know, things of these natures. They're not going to be getting bit. They're not going to have to, you know, die of poison or none of that stuff. You know, but you can't do that today. You try going outside and you know, going outside and catch a snake and, you know, try playing with it. You know, you're going to end up getting bit. You know, but again, you know, these are the things that we can look forward to in the kingdom: peace and tranquility. You know, you know, everything's gonna be at one. Everything's gonna be in unison. All right. Because again, you know, these are things that we you know, because of sin, you know, we became disconnected. All right. But again, you know, when the kingdom of Yahweh Shemir Shai comes and is established, you know, all these things it's gonna come back, man. You know, this is what